For me, I definitely had this team winning this tournament. NACT, it's BTk winning NACT 2025 without Mobazane. I think without Mobazane, it has actually strengthened a bit of this lineup, especially domestically. The only problem I have, or the only doubts I have for BTk with Best Player 1 and not Mobazane, is how they would perform internationally. Because Best Player 1 has always kind of been the better jungler on Assassins than Zane. Yes. I don't think that's a hot take. I think most people know that as well as a fact. But internationally, the main problem for Best Player 1 for the longest time has been he just doesn't perform. Maybe it's a mentality issue. Maybe it's just the level of competitiveness being completely different in the jungle, in NA only, right, compared to the world. Maybe he's Best Player 1 in NA, but in the world, he's just a player 1.
Yeah, honestly, watching... I just hope they did what they did before and boot camp somewhere else, because looking at their grand finals, you know, it looked good because the first 2 games their opponents got the win, but then after betting out a Jawhead and then them just forcing the Cho roam, like BTk won, I would say pretty easily, right? So I kind of feel like they won because of the draft, and I feel they need some kind of practice to win not just the draft, but in terms of the mechanics as well as the macro. As long as they have a little bit of experience either boot camping in Indonesia or Philippines, it should be pretty fine. And I do agree with Mirko, because I heard that even fans of BTk were doubtful of Best Player 1. But looking at his performance, looking at the chemistry of the team overall, it looks like more people are more accepting of him. But now he just has to prove on the international stage, because I think even he himself knows that he hasn't been performing like in MSC and stuff like that. So he really needs to show up this time.
Yeah. And I mean, like, Mobazane's still going to be there either way. So I was actually wondering, since I feel like there have been, or at least here in the Philippines, I'm starting to see a lot more Yi Sun Shin players come into play. So like I don't know, like by the time, right? At least they'd somehow have someone to fill in that role if it ever is necessary for them. But hopefully they get to work on Best Player 1, since it's looking really good for BTk based on how they were able to win NACT.
And I think for me, it's not just the Yi Sun Shin, but it's also the fact that, at least for BTR, they've used Baxia and Fredrin in the jungle more than they have used Assassins in the jungle in Week 8. So it shows that these utility junglers can still work. And like laphel said, the Baxia XP even works. So in the jungle for BTR, they've, I think, only lost Onyx once. And it was banned by Onyx after that. So even Onyx had to be like, all right, they didn't ban it, sorry. They picked it away from them. They were also kind of like, you know, okay, it's pretty good. We have to deny it away from BTR. Yeah. So if, you know, BTk in the internationals later on want to try it, definitely something that Mobazane can still use to still be very, very impactful in the meta. But obviously in this meta, especially with laphel, what laphel just said, that the Assassins or like Ling are going to be up back again, I think we'll still see more Best Player.